All right, we are live. Hang on YouTube. We got to sync in our Facebook audience. Make sure we're able to sync up. All right, so we are live. What is going on, guys? It is the one and only Lee Sanders here of the RCWR Show. I am coming at you guys live for this Saturday night of January 27th, 2018. We are just a couple of minutes removed from an all new WWE NXT Takeover Philadelphia. If you are a Philadelphia fan right now, and I know there's a lot of you guys that's out there, hey, I've always had an appreciation for the Eagles over the years. We got at least one more week to go until it is the Super Bowl. For some people, it is all about getting a good game. For others, it is about what commercials are they going to be seeing that they're going to be talking about when they go to work the next day. And then for others, it is about the halftime show. So a little bit of something for everybody, but that's a week from now, man. I mean, this is pretty much Royal Rumble weekend that we got going on right now. And what better way to go into Royal Rumble Sunday than by Saturday night's own NXT Takeover from Philly? I tell you, I'm hoping that those that were at Raw 25 earlier this week that did not like what they had got, whether they were at the Barclays Center or they were at the Manhattan Center, I hope they had just a little bit of money left over to be able to take part at Royal Rumble weekend. In particular, head on over to an NXT Takeover event, because anybody that had the opportunity to go to a takeover event, in this case, this particular takeover event, and you passed up on the opportunity to go, my God, you missed out on such a great night of action. Pull up a seat, grab a cold one. Let's dive all into it. As always, I appreciate you guys that take the time out. Check me out when I do this for you guys. Do me a huge favor if you haven't done so. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, interact. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, got the YouTube, all over the place. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. We're doing this simulcast for you guys right now. A couple of different outlets. We're doing it on YouTube, and we're doing it on Facebook only. That's pretty much it. So these are the only two outlets that we're going to be doing it right now. I will entertain the idea of maybe making the audio version be available of this like in the coming week, but 9 out of the 10, I'm probably not going to go that route. So Facebook, YouTube, this is a nice little treat for you guys. We got a poll out right now asking you guys, what did you think of tonight's NXT Takeover event? I want to hear from you all. If you're checking this out via YouTube, I have the poll up right now. Just open up a new tab, head on over to the YouTube page, Community Sections tab, cast your vote over there, and let me know what you think. There's actually a second poll as well that I put up asking you all, what do you think of one EC3? And that's just going to tease you guys for now. I mean, you saw the event. You have an idea probably what the question is that I'm asking. And we also had put the same poll up on Twitter, two different outlets. My good God. And I got to tell you, it was awesome sharing it directly on NXT's main page. We got a lot of good votes that's coming in right now. Overwhelmingly, we have 83% of the votes coming in at thumbs up right now. 7% are giving the event a thumbs down. 9% are staying in the middle. Well, once again, we have an overwhelming 83% right now that are giving tonight's NXT Takeover event a thumbs up. So that's where we're at right now. All right. So not really. We didn't miss anything with regards to the Takeover pre-show event. I thought for sure maybe we were going to get a dark match or two. Now, some of you guys, you got to forgive me, because past couple of months, any longtime listener knows this, I was working 2 full-time jobs, and then somehow in the mix of all that, trying to prepare for the holidays, popping the question to the little lady, and then trying to prepare for a wedding. So as far as like trying to check out shows like NXT and some other stuff, was always on the back burner, never got a chance to like check it out. I finally ended up binging on a couple of episodes of NXT earlier today just to try to get caught up to speed, find out what all I had missed and everything. And going into the pre-show, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, we were going to be getting a little bit of some pre-show action. We didn't get that, but we actually got the next best thing, which was the NXT Year End Awards. And I got to tell you, I really did not have a problem with everybody that had won awards tonight. Let's tell you about some of those people that had won, according to my notes here. Bear with me a second here, guys. I want to load this up real quick here. And hope you guys are having a good night so far. Just got to pull this up in my drafts section here. There we go. All right. So for Rivalry of the Year, which was the first award that was presented to us, the winner of that, and it was kind of interesting. There was actually some awards where you heard the category and like, okay, great. So who are the nominees? We actually did not get the nominees. They just went straight into who the winner was. And I guess mainly they did that to try to save on time. But it's like when you have a pre-show that's an hour long talking about all things NXT, surely you can kind of milk it a little bit and talk about some of the nominees if there was any at all, right? But hey, it's all good, man. Rivalry of the Year, that went to Aliester Black taking on the Velveteen Dream at last year's War Games. Anybody that remembers the War Games after show that I did like as soon as it had ended, and if you did not check that out, it's actually on YouTube. I want to say an audio version was available as well on the downloads, but I had jumped out there. I said, my God, I went out there. Now I try sparingly not to say, hey, match of the year. I try not to jump out there like that unless I really feel in my heart of hearts that, like, yes, if I can cross off every single thing on the box on my checklist, if I can instantly just take a step back and just instantly go yes or no as far as match of the year. If I hesitate, you know what? It shouldn't even be given the tag match of the year. But for Aliester Black, Velveteen Dream, I said when that match came about last year, hey, match of the year, freaking fantastic. I was just freaking amazed. I was equally impressed by one Velveteen Dream. And I know longtime listeners, they know how much of a man crush I have on Velveteen Dream, because that dude is just freaking, I tell you, I became a fan of this guy instantly when I came across him on that season of Tough Enough. And we all know that guy should have been a lock to win it, but you had the immortal Hulk Hogan that just, brother, how you gonna talk about the Hulkster like that, dude? How you gonna put me down like that? Saying I'm past my prime, my day and age is over. I mean, really taking it personal with Velveteen Dream. Some of the comments that he said at the time, Patrick Clark, taking some of the things that he said at the time really personal and pretty much putting Patrick Clark on the chopping block for elimination. And like, I'm thinking as soon as I see Patrick on the chopping block for elimination, no, either Daniel Bryan or whoever else the other judge was, I'm thinking one of them is going to use their save and they're going to get him. They're going to get him out of there, because that's just ridiculous. What the Hulkster did just really comes off spiteful. It comes off very vengeful. And it was purely a case. When you just think back and you look on it back then, you know, you go, wow, this is like a case where, hey, this black guy is picking on the fat, chubby kid. Well, hey, let's all come together and let's cast our vote. Let's send that black SOB home. We'll show him. I mean, that's honestly how it came off. It came off like, hey, this guy's being a bully to the fat kid. Like, I honestly, that's the way when I look back at it in hindsight. And I know there's a lot of you guys that are probably feeling that way as well. When you look back on that tenure, it was shocking. And then to hear Daniel Bryan afterwards and the other judges, except for the Hulkster, say, hey, thought America was actually going to get this right, didn't use a save because thought for sure the audience, you know, that were the judges, were going to do the right thing here, that they knew who needed to go forward. Well, boy, did too much faith get put into the fans to vote. And then you just see The Miz and you just see everybody else, even Daniel Bryan saying, hey, man, you know, keep your head up, keep your chin up. I think it was Miz. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because my memory's so fuzzy Only watched like all the episodes in first run, didn't watch repeats, but I'm pretty sure Miz said something to the effect of, you've got your contacts, right? You know, you've been here all these weeks. You know what you need to do, especially if you want to continue your career and all that. Like, get to it already, get the ball rolling. Maryland Championship Pro Wrestling had a really good hand in helping Patrick Clark continue his career past Tough Enough. And I tell you, to see, and it makes me so extra proud, aside from the man crush, it makes me so extra proud to see one of DC's own, you know, because we're based out here in the DMV. So it's really awesome to see DC, one of DC's own, really going out there representing and like living the dream of a lot of folks in the DMV, that you'd be surprised how many people in the DMV like would love to be a wrestler and all that. So, I mean, it's really awesome to see this guy just continues every single week. Every time we see this guy on NXT television, going into the takeover events, this guy gets better and better and better. And tonight, my man just did not disappoint. But Aliester Black, Velveteen Dream, getting the Rivalry of the Year award. I didn't have a problem with that one whatsoever. Male Superstar of the Year. Your nominees for this one was Aliester Black, Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre, Roderick Strong, Cien Almas. Your winner for that one was Aliester Black. Aliester Black doing a little bit of a sweep, as he had took home a total of what is it here? I've got three awards. I thought for sure maybe it was going to be 4, but that fourth one was going to be shared. But the other award that he took, aside from Male Superstar of the Year, he also took, as I just mentioned, Rivalry of the Year. He also took home Breakout Star of the Year. And there was Competitor of the Year. And for that one, they kept showing vignettes of Asuka, and they kept showing Black, and you were kind of under the impression that maybe, just maybe, it was going to be a tie. At least that's the way it kind of came off to me. But no, Asuka was the one that actually won that one. Also, for Female Superstar of the Year, your nominees for that one: Nikki Cross, Amber Moon, Ruby Riott, Asuka, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. Your winner for that one was Asuka. So Asuka taking home 2 awards. Corey Graves and Corey Graves, who's the beautiful Renee Young. Both of them had spoke with Asuka saying, hey, what's next? Care to share your thoughts on, you know, what had went down with you winning these awards? And Asuka pretty much kept it short and sweet. She pretty much had said, Sunday, Royal Rumble, I'm going to win it, or whatever she said. She definitely had said Royal Rumble. So nice little spot right there. She kept it short and sweet. For those of you that might have been a little bit curious if Aliester Black had anything to say with one of the awards he had grabbed, they did talk to him with the first presentation, which was for Male Superstar of the Year. And then, oh, actually, no, correction. For Rivalry, no, a Rivalry of the Year, Velveteen Dream had accepted the award for that one. But for Male Superstar of the Year, now that I'm remembering it right, it was actually Black that came out and accepted the award for that one. And then Renee Young was like, hey, also congratulations on the Breakout Star of the Year award. I wish that would have went to Velveteen Dream, quite honestly. But it's all good, man. I know you got to kind of, maybe I need to eliminate myself from that, because some people may be like, nah, Lee, you're not being unbiased on that one. So I was like, maybe I need to eliminate myself from that one altogether. But yeah, so those were pretty much your winners. Also, we had Tyler Bate taking on Pete Dunne for the UK Championship. That one had received a award as well. I think that one was for, I won't say Rivalry of the Year. I don't know what tag they gave that. I don't know if it was like maybe you guys got to help me out on that one, because I forgot what category that was in, but that one apparently had got an award. I'm not sure what the category was, because some of them did kind of sound similar. Like when you hear Male Superstar of the Year for NXT, and then you hear Female Superstar of the Year for NXT, and then you hear Competitor of the Year, you're kind of going, Wait a minute now. Say what? Like, that's kind of similar to like what you all had just mentioned. Like, what the hell is going on? But those were your winners. And anybody that wants to help me out with that last one with regards to Pete Dunne and all that, those guys that had won an award, feel free to post a comment in the chat, whether it's on Facebook or it is on whatchamacall. What's up, Kelton? How you doing, man? Shout out to Kelton, who's chilling over at Facebook, interacting right now on Facebook. All right, so let's talk about the actual card itself. Can we, guys? Let's talk about the actual card. Love the card. Love me a Philly crowd, man. I love me some Philly. When it comes to wrestling, there are certain crowds that I just really, really love, because for me, nothing lifts the spirits up more when I check out a wrestling event than when I go, damn, I wonder what city these guys are going to be performing in front of. And whenever I hear a New York, a Philly, Chicago crowd, I know that we're going to be in for a good night, because that crowd is going to be very energetic. They're going to be very passionate. They are going to be very vocal. And tonight, Takeover Philly did not disappoint. Peep this for a second. Those of you that had watched it, how many of you all had noticed that? Is it just me, or does it seem like now that NXT is going out there more and more on the road, like, let it be a situation where, in this case, Royal Rumble weekend, or you got WrestleMania weekend, or SummerSlam weekend, or Survivor Series weekend, like the big four, right? Is it just me, or like tonight was very obvious to me that when it comes to these NXT takeover events on Saturday nights, you don't really see that many kids in attendance. And I would say, for me, when I say kids, I mean kids of the ages, I would say like maybe 15 under. You know, you don't really see that in these NXT pay-per-view takeover crowds. And it's almost kind of like, well, Timmy, you'll be okay tonight, because mommy and daddy, we're going to go join some friends and we're going to go check out Takeover. But you and Susan will be able to tag along with us tomorrow for the Royal Rumble. Don't forget now, you guys go to sleep, because we got a busy day tomorrow. I mean, it just kind of comes off like that, because like whenever they pan out to the Takeover crowds and everything, you just kind of, damn, grown. And I'm going to put one more on you guys, and you tell me if you all peep this out. Now that I say this, it's going to be like, oh, I thought I was the only one that had noticed that dude. Lee, you got good eyesight. How many of you all peeped the Philly dude that like was definitely around when the original EC3 was doing this thing from the bingo hall? You know the guy I'm talking about. He always wears black shades. He's got long frizzy black hair. And usually you will see this guy, like whenever Raw comes to New York, or they come to Philly or New Jersey, usually you will see this guy with some good seats. He'll usually be sitting like right in front of the hard camera. Peep him out if you don't know who I'm talking about. But like, if you go back, you check out NXT tonight, assuming you got the network, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. You'll be like, yeah, I remember that dude from back in the ECW days, or, back in the, Raw Attitude Era days, because he definitely dominated. I mean, if you ain't see that dude on ECW, you definitely had saw him during the Attitude Era days, whenever they came around those jurisdictions. And it was just kind of like, it just kind of made me laugh a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, it's that dude. But no, I love it when we get these type of crowds that WWE is going to be performing in front of. I got to give it up to Mauro Ranallo and Percy Watson. We didn't have Nigel McGuinness. Nigel, under the weather. Not sure how severe it is, but you know what? I truly believe in my heart of hearts, just kind of going based off of what I saw of him in Ring of Honor. Always a professional, always showing up wherever he needed to be. And I tell you what, man, class act. Just everything that I've been able to gather about the guy, especially when speaking to certain people off air about him. Or the subject of him was brought up off air or whatever. From what I've been able to hear about Nigel, a straight up class act. So there's no doubt in my mind that there's like whatever's going on with him, it is legit. And I gotta tell you, there is just a nasty flu bug that's going around right now. I mean, if you watch the news, you have a really good idea about what I'm talking about. Like people just left and right, they are just getting sick. I mean, it is just I don't know. I mean, this has to be the worst season this calendar year as far as people just normally don't even get sick, never have gotten a flu shot, and then all of a sudden, wham! I mean, they are getting hit with like something that feels like the damn pneumonia or whatever, and they're just sidelined for a good minute. So, yeah, definitely speedy recovery to him. Hopefully, he's getting lots of fluids, taking in some of that vitamin C, all that. I gotta say, Percy Watson, off and on the past, I would say 6 to 7 months, really have not been that impressed with what I've been hearing of him on color commentating. And it got to that point for me where I'm kind of going, okay, David Otunga, yeah, very, very green behind the ears, but yeah, he's finally making stride. He's finally coming in along. Yes, all right, good. I look at a guy like Byron Saxton. I'm going, all right, Byron, all right, you're coming along. You're doing just fine. Percy, I'm going, damn, good looking face. Very familiar with Percy. Very familiar with his in-ring work and all that. But just as an on-air personality, just rough, very rough. But I got to tell you, the progress that he's made within recent months, just listening to him tonight, it really sounds like, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a case where maybe Triple H and or Michael Cole, Morrow is like really being hands-on with Percy, but whoever is working with him, it's showing. I am getting the legit vibe that this guy wants to do everything he can to succeed as a color commentator, and he's really starting to come along. There were a lot of parts that I think we all could be in agreement that we're paying attention to the color commentating tonight, aside from the great in-ring action, but you can't, for me, I pay attention to the color commentating as well. A couple of times throughout the event, he repeated himself, and it's kind of like, okay, switch it up a little bit. Try to maybe say that differently or whatever, but he's coming along. I will definitely give him his props. He's coming along. Let's talk about the first matchup that we got on the card for tonight's NXT Takeover Philly event. We saw for the NXT Tag Team titles, the Authors of Pain taking on the Undisputed Era, or as I love to know them, Red Dragon. You guys got to forgive me. It's going to take me a long time to stop calling them Red Dragon, because I love these guys when they were in ROH, tearing it up over there, like Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. That's Red Dragon for me. Like, yeah, they're part of the whole Undisputed Era, but Red Dragon, that's how I pretty much know them. I love this. This was a great opener. Didn't have a problem with this opening up. Takeover Philadelphia. I love the ring psychology that was being told during this match. And the one thing that I loved was how we basically saw Red Dragon really focusing on Akeem, because Akeem was in there for a good duration of this match. And they were taking turns going to work on his leg. I mean, they were twisting it, bending it. I mean, that bad boy was getting so bent out of shape, worse than a damn pretzel. All right. That's how much they were bending this dude out. And, if you're paying attention to the psychology, you're kind of going, okay, you know what? Whenever this guy is able to finally come around and he's able to get these guys off of him, as soon as he tries to stand up, apply some type of pressure on that bad leg, this guy should automatically fall to the canvas. That leg should be given now. And he did a really good job in selling it for the most part. I mean, it wasn't overly dramatic or anything like that, but the story that was being told, hey, look how they're working this leg. Look how they're working this leg. Watch this now. Watch this. And I just love how they basically were telling that. There was probably one spot like towards the end of the match. You know how the Authors of Pain, they do their trademark pickup, power bomb or whatever, basically throw the guys back to back into each other like that or whatever. And you're kind of going, wait a minute. Okay, we see Akeem, he's picking one of the guys up and he's getting ready to do that trademark, that signature move. And you're kind of going, wait a minute now. Nah, that's not really, your leg should be giving out right now. Like you should be kind of like, let out a scream or something. And I kind of had a problem with that, but the overall finish, I liked it, especially when one of the Red Dragon guys pretty much was able to get a roll up, and that leg, all the damage that was done to it during the night, pretty much getting the roll up, holding him by that bad leg and all that. I love that, because basically the story that you had told was, hey, the longer that you let this match go on, the better that it worked in favor of the Undisputed Era, right? Because Authors of Pain, they probably just don't really have that stamina, give or take. So the longer the match went, the psychology, everything just working in unison. Loved it. I love the booking for that match. I probably would have changed a couple of things, but overall, actually was a really good matchup. Still, your NXT Tag Team Champions, it is Red Dragon, aka the Undisputed Era. Speaking of Ring of Honor and my love for Ring of Honor, it was great seeing the cameo of newly signed ROH tag teams, or tag team, I should say, which is War Machine. War Machine have reported to the Performance Center. We got a chance to see them tonight. My allergies are kicking my butt right now. You guys got to forgive me because my sinuses, I don't know what it is. Every time I come in here and do this, my allergies start to irritate me. I hate that. I think I'm okay now. But no, War Machine, we have been hearing the rumblings about these guys for like a couple of months now that they were WWE bound, and then to actually see these guys, I mean, pretty much we knew like it was a lock and all that. As soon as we heard they were at the Performance Center, some pictures had came out and everything. It's like, okay, that's great. Now, anybody that's been a long-time listener of my podcast, which airs every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, on Spreaker.com, and it's also simulcasting here on YouTube for the next couple of weeks. Come on after SmackDown goes off the air on the East Coast. Anybody that's been a long-time listener knows how passionate I have been about WWE trying to sign the Bloodbound Warriors. And the fact that WWE has signed War Machine, it gives me hope. It gives me strong hope that at least within the next 2 years, that's what's going to be going down next. We're going to be getting Bloodbound Warriors, and I really hope we're able to get those guys. I'm telling you, as soon as, if you've never seen Bloodbound Warriors, as soon as you just type them up and you look at the images of these guys, you're going to be like, these guys should be Ascension. I don't know what those other guys are that's in the WWE. This is like the real Ascension right here. Like, it needs to be these guys right here. They look mega badass. But I'm happy that we got War Machine doing their thing in NXT. That should actually be pretty fun. And I think, honestly, for those of you that may be a little bit curious as far as like, well, when is War Machine going to be coming up and all of that? I kind of feel as though a scenario could come about where, now look, obviously, Authors of Pain, they didn't get the NXT tag titles. And look, I'm just going to jump out there. I think at this point, Authors of Pain, they are pretty much going to remain on the NXT roster until shortly after WrestleMania. And then after that, you know how WWE likes to do that hard reset. They like to try to introduce new blood and all that. That's been their trend the past couple of years. I just have the impression that Authors of Pain will be moving up to the main roster then. As far as where they would be better fitted, I hope that for better perspective, for better, okay, look at these guys. Okay, the spotlight is like actually on them. I hope that a scenario occurs where they can actually go over to the blue brand as opposed to the red brand. I'm just not liking what's going on with the Revival right now. that is a perfect example of kind of getting lost in the shuffle. Add on top of that the injuries, like not good for a team like the Revival. You look at Enzo Amore, you think of Big Cass. I shouldn't need to give any more examples. So for me, I like for it to kind of switch up a little bit. Let's see how the Authors of Pain do over on SmackDown. I can see really great programs with them. The Usos, I can see really great programs with them. And maybe a full-blown face. Rusev. Who's the other guy? It's Rusev Day. I forgot his name. I mean, I can just see the thin mustache, the red hair. I'm drawing a blank. It happens. We're live. But yes, I can see a great feud with them. I can see a great feud with the Usos. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. And what's funny, I'm going to have a boatload of people go, Lee, it's this guy. How do you forget this guy? I cannot let that go now. Come on, give me that guy's name. It's Rusev Day. Come on now. Who is that guy? I'm not moving on until I get that guy's name. Aiden English, right? Aiden English. See, I had to really draw off the cobwebs right there, man. It's Rusev Day. I love that dude. I digress. So where were we? We were talking about some of the other action that came about. Yeah. So honestly, yes, send freaking Authors of Pain to SmackDown. I think two scenarios could occur. I think as the Authors of Pain are getting ready to wrap things up and they're getting ready to make the jump to the flagship show, it's probably going to be a scenario where maybe then War Machine comes in, or maybe it could be a situation where as Authors of Pain are kind of on their way out, they do the deed and make sure that they put War Machine over, make them the next dominating team. Because that kind of seems to be the trend whenever NXT tag teams of the past that were so dominating, really popular amongst the crowd, and like right before they moved up to the main roster, they usually tried to establish another up and coming NXT male tag team. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something like that were to come about as well. I want to take this time out. Thank you guys that's checking out the stream right now. If you're doing it on YouTube or you're doing it on Facebook, welcome. Make sure you give me those comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. Most importantly, give those likes, man. Give those thumbs up. All right, let's keep it going. Let's talk about some more action that we had tonight from Takeover in Philadelphia. Second matchup, we had the Velveteen Dream taking on Cassius. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Woo, God damn. Was this a match? Oh, is this a match? I mean, Velveteen Dream. And it was so funny because once in a blue moon, my girl will watch wrestling with me. And she grew up on wrestling, so she is definitely a wrestling fan at heart. So she's watching NXT TakeOver with me. And one good observation she had pointed out, she said, and I think she said it maybe right around the Velveteen Dream match. She said, why is it that we can get really great matches like this, but when we turn on Raw or SmackDown, it seems like there's no thought process that goes into it. What's up with that? And I'm like, well, honestly, we got Triple H to thank and his great team down in NXT. I mean, they put a lot of thought into it. They put a lot of emphasis into the fine detail. And I gave her the quick breakdown on who's doing the other two shows and all that. I'm like, but yeah, that's pretty much where we are. And I told her, you didn't watch him last time. You're going to like this guy. Velveteen Dream, he is awesome. And I told her, I said, hon, I have a man crush on this dude. And she starts laughing. I'm like, no, look, I have a man crush on this. I was like, this dude's awesome. Just watch this guy. It's like this dude just reeks of flamboyant, arrogant charisma at its finest. I love this dude. And I love the fact that he's continuing his insulting with his attire of his opponent. How this go around, he's got the boxer shorts on, long boxer shorts, and he's got the gray spray paint stuff going on and all that. My man actually had silver glitter socks though. Anybody peep that out? I'm going, oh no, you didn't. I'm like, are you serious? And then almost kind of pulling a page out of Dalton Castle's playbook. Now that'd be a good dream match right there. Velveteen Dream taking on Dalton Castle. Battle of the Flamboyants. That's how I would tag that bad boy. But like, like you see Velveteen Dream, he's walking down to the daggone ring and he stops at one point, and you've got a woman that like actually takes his gum from out of his mouth, and then there's like this big, beefy, cockstrong looking black dude standing right there. He's got a towel, and there's a mouth guard piece on the towel. And I think the woman had gave him that piece or whatever. I wish that they could have played a little bit more with the flamboyance of Velveteen Dream. I wish they could have had him look at the big beefy dude and kind of like, ain't you gonna put that in my mouth? You know, I wish they could have went a little something, because you gotta admit, when you look at the guy, you know, Velveteen Dream kind of gives you that vibe, like, yeah, he would kind of mess around a little bit, and you're kind of going, oh, he's out there, isn't he? Not that that's a bad thing, but you're kind of going, oh, he's out there, isn't he? Or you can kind of look at it as, he's playing the mind games. Okay, I see what's going on here. But no, like, he was telling everybody, I'm going to knock out Cassius Ohno like in 30 seconds or less. Well, he did do a knockout punch, but sadly, booking wise, you know, you're kind of going, great, you knocked him out. But it's not that kind of match. Like, you got to at least pin the dude, get the 1, 2, 3, roll the hell out. Velveteen Dream so excited that he actually knocked out, kind of, Cassius Ohno, and like didn't get the cover. Great back and forth. Slugger fest of a match, I tell you. Little bit rough around the edges, though, because you had two spots that came about during the match. And I want to say the first one, it almost kind of came off tick for tack. Like, at one point you had, it's coming back to me now, Velveteen Dream, he was looking for a signature move. I want to say it was some type of a modified DDT attempt, and Cassius like did not sell it whatsoever. Cassius kind of acted like, brother, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, but like, yeah, this ain't working. So no. And it did not sell. And the crowd, you can hear them chanting clear as day, you effed up, you effed up. You're like, yeah, he actually did kind of mess up, but let's see how they rebound. Because up to that point, they were telling a pretty good story in the ring. Like I said, great back and forth. This was pretty much a straight up ugly brawl type of match. You know, it really was not a technical match whatsoever. So later on, you're keeping that in mind of the spot that had went down with Velveteen Dream looking for that signature move. Then like later on, this is where I say tick for tack, because then you see Cassius Ohno, he's trying to go for one of his signature moves, and Velveteen Dream, like, he doesn't do his end. Yeah, it's kind of coming back to me now. There's like some type of move, maybe off the ropes, like bouncing off of the ropes, maybe was Ohno. And there was supposed to be some type of a good like power lift or whatever, something to that effect. And Dream did not sell it, like he half-assed it. So I don't know if maybe that might have been a tick for tack, or it was just a case of the miscues. But despite those two rough edges, those two guys actually had gelled pretty damn well together, I would have to say. As far as the closing moments of that matchup goes, pretty much they had traded big shots in the middle of the ring. Ohno was taking a little bit of control, connected with a big boot, went for a senton splash. Ohno then had connected with a cyclone kick, only got him a 2 count. Dream had blocked a neck breaker, and he did a backslider for Ohno. I was about to say black slider on Ohno for a 2 count. Dream then blocked a super kick, delivered one of his own. Dream with a spike DDT that got another 2 count, a little bit more back and forth. Pretty much Dream countered a move from Ohno with a Death Valley driver. Dream then goes to the top, leaps far across the ring. Big, nice, just pretty elbow drop. Pretty much picked up the 1, 2, 3 that way. Everybody's in euphoria. Let's talk about a match that I thought was, and shout out to Maria Menounos. She was actually in attendance. Well, I'm getting there, folks. I know we got some people that's like, Lee, come on now, get to the joint, come on, man. My man showed up. What happened? What happened? I'm gonna get to it, I think, after this one. Let's talk about something that I thought was absolute freaking, excuse my French, I'm gonna jump out there because I'm gonna call it exactly how I saw it. Bullshit. Shayna Baszler taking on Amber Moon. Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. Everybody knows when it comes to NXT, I always give good praise. When it comes to just the TV production value that we get weekly, it comes to the takeover events, the matches are always booked rather smart. For the most part, they are booked rather well. They're booked smart, good logic that goes into it until now. So let me see if I got this straight. So my girl, who I am an MMA fan. I don't get to watch it enough like that unless it's free on Spike TV or Spike's getting ready to change their name, or it's on FS1 or what have you, right? Very seldom, unless it is a jam-packed, star-studded card from top to bottom, very seldom will I come out of my pocket and I order a MMA joint on pay-per-view. But Shayna Baszler, I am familiar with. I've seen a decent amount of her fight. So let me see if I got this straight. This 37-year-old MMA fighter that's being dubbed the Queen of Spades had a great outing in the Mae Young Classic, by the way. A great freaking outing. All right. Makes the transition rather easily into the world of professional wrestling. And I am supposed to believe that with a good long MMA career, like when you go and you look at her fight record, what is it, like 15 wins, 11 losses or something like that? You know, I mean, that's not really too bad. I mean, it's like she wins half her matches and she almost loses the other half of her matches, give or take, right? But she knows a thing or two about MMA. This girl has been training in MMA since like the early 2000s or whatever, right? I am supposed to believe that this girl, with all of her background in MMA, is supposed to go into this match. And I don't give a flying frick how you tell the story, but you have her lose to Amber Moon. And then what was just the hypocrisy in all of this was just seeing people on social media. Oh my God, Amber Moon. That was a well fought victory. That was so, oh man, she defied the odds. And oh man, did she? And I'm just kind of like going, damn, you guys are gullible as hell. I'm not being condescending in any type of way. I'm not being an asshole in any type of way. I am just going with good old-fashioned simplistic booking. Now look, I love how this match had started off. This girl went in there, you know, Baszler, this girl went in there and she pretty much like did kind of like a leg takedown. I mean, she went low and you're going, okay, this is good. Playing her good ground mat game, using some of that MMA experience on her, on Amber Moon. Okay, all right, I like that. That's good. And then we see a situation come about where she gets a hold of Moon's arm. And I mean, she is just doing a serious number on that arm. I mean, it almost looks as though homegirl basically dislocated the hell out of this arm, popped that bad boy out of the socket. I mean, it seemed like she was breaking that bad boy like, I want me a turkey drumstick and I want it now. I mean, that's how she was doing Amber Moon's arm. And you got Amber doing a really good job crying and selling the hell out of that, screaming. Yeah, did it look kind of silly a little bit when we had the EMTs come out and they're checking on her? Honestly, it was a little silly, but you know what? You're trying to give realism to how much of a threat Baszler is. All right. So I had no problem with that. And then as the match continues, I mean, the way this girl was coming off, it was like mini Brock Lesnar meets Baron Corbin. I mean, this girl was just having her way with Amber Moon for like most of this matchup. But like for Amber Moon, now look, for Amber Moon to retain her title via a roll up, I'm sorry. That for me, that was just piss poor. I didn't like it. I did not like it whatsoever. If anything, I think the smarter booking should have been Shayna just really doing physically a serious number on Amber, outmatched, outclassed, straight up, outclassed. And a situation should have occurred where the referee just gets involved, throws the match out because he deems that Moon is just physically not capable of continuing. Like that arm, there's no telling what's going on with it. There's no telling if it's like dislocated, or actually you could have sold it being dislocated, and like the referee just did not want any more significant damage to occur to it. Because I mean, just think for a second. We have these scenarios sometimes where a wrestler will legitimately, I don't know, tear a quad, or they tear their bicep, or they dislocate their shoulder, and you got the referee throwing up the freaking X or whatever, and it's like, oh man, this match is over. Heaven forbid they take a concussion or whatever, some trauma happens to the head, and it's like, okay, the match is done. Like we gotta get the MTs out here, throw up the X, it's over. Like, you're going, damn. So if this girl is like really screwing with this arm like that, and this girl is basically fighting with one arm, and Baszler is just continuing to go in, like for me to protect both of them, the match just should have been like thrown out. Hey, the belt cannot change hands in a situation like that. All right, so both of them are still protected, and you could have had both of them continue on with their feud after a couple of weeks or whatever. For me, I mean, now look, is this rivalry going to continue based on how it had pretty much ended? Yeah, because afterwards you see Amber, and she's like, you know, she retains, she gets out there, and you think it's over. Baszler, being a bad sport, runs up from behind, pretty much chokes this girl out, not once, but like twice, right? And I mean, that really should have been the end of it right there. But like to see Amber eventually come to, and I think referees and all that were still near her trying to help her out or whatever. But I do remember her coming to, and she's just kind of looking on like, oh, I'm going to get you, whatever. But like, I didn't like the way that was booked. I just didn't. It just was not real. It was not. You know, and I think anybody that is a MMA fan that is familiar with Baszler's work, they would be like, and even if you weren't a fan, even if you did not check out MMA like that, there's smart people that's out there, right? There is the educated consumer. Hey, I don't really know who this person is. I'm not really sure what they're about. Let me do some research on them and find out what the 411 is. Then you go, wow, they've been in MMA for like that long. Wow, and their record is like this. And then that probably leads to you looking at some videos of them, and you're going, man, this person is a straight up serious threat. If you couldn't have Homegirl win the NXT title tonight, okay, then you at least need to set things up in a way where she doesn't get pinned the way that she had got pinned. No, I'm sorry. You can't tell me anything different. You can't try to make me loosen up my stance on that. I'm dead set on that. I think that was just freaking piss poor, the way that they had set that up. Seriously. And now it like makes me even curious how they're going to do Ronda now, once she eventually makes her WWE debut and all that. Like, we'll wait and see. I mean, last minute bids, we got folks saying, oh man, she's going to pop up at the Rumble. We'll see. Let's continue on though, and let's talk about some other action that had came about. We had saw an Extreme Rules match, probably for me, match of the night. Adam Cole taking on Aliester Black. This was a straight up clinic of a match. I'm telling you, if there was any match, I'd be like, you got to check this out first. Extreme Rules match, Cole, Black. That's it right there, man. Like, my God. Awesome matchup. Awesome. I mean, this is probably a match of the year candidate. I would have to say that's how good it was. Black continuing right where he left off from 2017. Now, you know, closing moments of this matchup, let's pretty much pick it up there. We actually saw the Undisputed Era come out, and they were physically beating the living hell out of Black. And you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, well, who's going to come out? Is it going to be a situation where maybe Sanity members come out? Or is it going to be a case where maybe, who knows, Authors of Pain come out? You know, like what's going to happen? Somebody's going to come out and get in the faces of these guys. So who's it going to be? And I was kind of thinking that maybe it was going to be a scenario where AOP comes out, and then maybe that would set up next couple of weeks of NXT programming where maybe you'd have a 6-man tag match that consisted of AOP teaming up with Aleister Black to take on Adam Cole and Red Dragon, you know, the other Undisputed Era guys. I thought maybe that was going to be kind of like, and it could probably still go like that. We just have to wait and see. But no, we actually saw Sanity members come out. We saw Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and we saw Eric Young. They all came out and tried to provide assistance to Aleister Black. Closing moments of that matchup, we saw Fish and O'Reilly. They had got taken out outside of the ring. They were being, what had happened with them? I want to say they had dragged Black. Yeah, they did. They had dragged Black over to the announcer's table. They had began taking it apart when the Sanity members came in, pretty much even up the odds and all that. We actually saw Killian Dane enter the ring, and it looked like maybe he was going to get one-on-one physical with Adam Cole, but instead he decided to do a suicide dive from, I want to say it was over the ropes onto what would be Carnage outside of the ring, and that pretty much was it. Adam Cole, he actually saw where Black was actually propped over across from the announcer's table, just laid out, kind of a little bit unconscious, maybe coming to just a tiny little bit. And we saw Black just there for the taking. Now, if I remember it right, we actually saw Adam Cole head on over there, and he tried to look for some type of a pickup and pretty much over the shoulder, you know, fling Black over that way, send him crashing. Closing moments of that one, we saw Black fight him off, put Cole through the announcer's table with a double knee spot. It was a pretty sweet spot. Black then brings it back to the ring. Cole hits with a super kick. Cole crawls for the chair, and we saw Cole yell that he's pretty much going to end Black, but Black came back with a nice sweet counter. Actually went for the Black Mass, picked up the 1-2-3 that way. So great matchup, man. That for me, damn good matchup. Of course, we heard about it. We weren't really sure, but we finally got the moment. We saw one Ethan Carter III, EC3, in attendance. Nice, good, hot red suit. Just hitting that pose. And that pretty much was it. It is fantastic to see EC3 back in the WWE. I can't go any further. We only got one more match to talk about now, and we're actually doing pretty good on Showtime so far. How we doing here? Yeah, I mean, at this rate, it's pretty much going to be maybe, I don't know, maybe about an hour, maybe an hour plus will do, but I'll definitely read you all's reaction. So let me know what you have thought about NXT Takeover tonight overall, whether you're checking that out on Facebook, this stream right now, or you're checking it out via YouTube, and cast your vote on the poll that we got. We got a communities join over on YouTube. We got the poll up right there, and we got the poll up on Twitter. Look, been a big fan of Ethan Carter III for a long time. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to check him out in the WWE the first go round under Derek Bateman. Saw little pieces of his work here and there. I thought he had a great look. I thought that, you know, he kind of gave me that vibe, like under the right type of booking, under the right type of story arcs and all that. He just kind of gave me that vibe early on. Yeah, he's kind of got personality there. Needs to be highlighted, needs to be shined up pretty good, put the spotlight on it, see what he can do with it. And apparently he rubbed people off the wrong way in the WWE. Things didn't work out for him. Hey, what was WWE's loss would end up being TNA's gain. And I got to tell you, they were able to excel quite well with EC3. I mean, EC3 had some pretty good memorable moments in TNA. For me, one of the best was when he went undefeated, and it pretty much took him all the way to the World Heavyweight Championship, I want to say. My mind's a little fuzzy, so don't quote me on that. I can't do like some of you guys. Some of you guys can remember something from 2002 as if it were yesterday. But sadly for me, like, I'm finding as I get older, like a lot of times I actually kind of have to re-jog my memory looking stuff up online or whatever. But I remember for a fact he was undefeated for like the longest period of time. I remember that first run as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the feuds that he had for the championship. One of my personal favorites was when he was feuding with Matt Hardy. Then just the turmoil that was going on with Impact Wrestling when they left Spike, and then they went to Destination America. And you're kind of thinking like, okay, so what's going to happen right here? What's going to happen with the championship? What are they doing right here? And then like they did that weird flip, you know, with Matt Hardy and everything. Like you're going, huh? Wait, what? Like, nah, lead a belt on EC3. Like you've already done all this build up, right? Great build up, nice, good, slow evolution, nice, good build up for EC3. Like continue to build off of that. And like they just went into this like utter different direction. And I tell you, for Impact Wrestling, they've been going through some growing pains. I mean, they lost Chris Adonis, Chris Masters, as a lot of WWE fans know him. They lost Bobby Lashley. They lost the Hebners. They had lost the Cowboy, James Storm. Once again, they lost Rockstar Spud. They lost the Hardys. They lost Sting. They lost Kurt Angle. They lost... I can't think of the creepy looking chick. No. She's actually kind of still with the company right now. So let me scratch that off. But I mean, they lost so many people within the past, 3 years. But if you really want to home in 2017, well, no, you can honestly say 2016 to now saw a lot of people depart from Impact Wrestling. This is some really difficult growing pains for the company right now, because it's like, okay, so now when you think Impact Wrestling, what's the face? Who's the face? When you think Impact Wrestling, what are you gravitating towards? You know, at least you could be like, well, you know, at this point I'm watching because I want to see what's going on with the Cowboy, or I want to see what's going on with Lashley, or I want to see what's going on with EC3. Now it's like, you don't really have anything you can sink your teeth into anymore. So, you know, I don't blame EC3 for whatever his respective reasons were for jumping ship. Honestly, it could just be a case of the good old fashioned, man, everybody's leaving. There's no telling what's going on with this company right now. Like, you know what? Shit, if I can keep my little trademark name and I can take it and run to another company with it. I could pretty much have my gimmick intact. Okay, if that's the case, bye-bye. Like, yeah, you, me, and everybody else will probably be doing that same thing too. But I expect big things this go around now that he has a little bit more seasoning under his belt. You know, being away from the WWE, I do feel he could be a great, significant contributor to the WWE. He is going to have a profound impact, no pun intended, on the NXT side of things. And I feel eventually, sooner, a lot sooner rather than later, he's going to be shooting up to the main roster real quick. But we'll deal with that at a later date. But for right now, the fact that he's going to be helping now with NXT, and you know how NXT is, it's always a situation of next man up. That's pretty much how it is. It's like next man up. So I honestly can't wait to see how things are going to be going with him and just everybody that he's going to be able to feud with in NXT. That's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. So we got one more match to talk about. Let's go ahead right at it, and then I'll see what you guys are saying with regards to what the hell. I'll see what you guys. Well, hang on a second here. Bear with me a second here. Bam! There we go. One more match. Let's talk about it. NXT Championship. Whew. Good God Almighty. A lot of good matches tonight. NXT title match. Johnny Wrestling Gargano taking on Cien Almas. Loved it. Zelina Vega. I gotta say, I enjoyed her chemistry with Samoa Joe during the pre-show. That was hands down pure entertainment. I love how she carried the hell out of Sam Roberts, by the way. I could not stop chuckling at that. Love that. But yeah, you know, for me, going into this matchup, I knew we were going to get a classic, and it was a great back and forth. I mean, just when it seemed like Cien Almas had it in the books, the match was over. Somehow Gargano was able to kick out. Saw a lot of interference that was coming about from Zelina Vega. And you see a little bit of a cameo, if you will, as Johnny Gargano is making his way to the ring. You see him interact with his wife, who just got signed to WWE recently. So we're going to be seeing her in NXT very, very well. Tonight we saw her, but as far as her on the main roster goes, is what I'm saying. You know, we're going to be seeing that in just a matter of weeks to come. We had saw the beautiful and the lovely Candice LeRae, and you know, you're going up. Okay, so it should be interesting to see how they're going to play this out. All right, let's see how they do this. We know she's going to get involved, but that's okay. Like, how you going to tell that story? And like I said, it seemed like no matter what all was going down, Johnny Gargano just kept kicking out. We see Vega, she's doing her thing, she's getting involved, and it's like, man, are you serious? I mean, this girl, Vega, was getting involved so damn much. You're kind of going, a fan, somebody jump over the goddamn barricade over there and like do something. Like, ain't that much damn interference in the world. So to finally see Candice LeRae come on out there and like, nah, I'm not having this, literally chase Vega out of the arena, finally evening up the odds. We're going, okay, finally, we're going to get a straight up one-on-one matchup. I mean, these guys, freaking clinic, man. Closing moments of this matchup, it was actually pretty shocking. We pretty much had saw at one point Johnny Gargano was kind of sitting, I want to say, on the apron, like in the corner, like outside the ring, and we see Almas. He just comes in with a running knee. I mean, damn near beheaded the hell out of Gargano. And then from there, we saw Cien. He pretty much had followed that up with a turnbuckle DDT. And the 1, 2, 3, that pretty much was over. It was the draping hammerlock DDT that he had did on him. Keep in mind, Johnny Gargano actually had kicked out of the hammerlock DDT earlier during the match, and you're kind of like, damn, all right, so Cien almost, he threw that. Now what? What's Cien got to do now? It's like, okay, well, try this, try a freaking draping hammerlock DDT from like the top or middle rope. That should do it, and that actually did do the trick. 1, 2, 3. Cien is still your Cien Almas is still your NXT champion. Honestly, I will say this, because I remember when Almas had became the NXT champion, I was like, okay, you know what? Honestly, from what I've been seeing of this guy past couple of months, it's his time. It just feels right. This dude's been like, I got to tell you, if there was any Latin, Hispanic, Mexican superstar that like I'm going very promising. This guy has a very promising career in the WWE. Almas is it. It's everything that you will want. I feel like this guy can definitely succeed where Alberto Del Rio failed. And I know Del Rio's now playing footsie and everything, talking about, he patched things up with WWE, and I can't wait to go back there. And, it's like, and keep in mind, he's saying all of this and how he'd like to work for the WWE again while still in contract with TNA or Impact Wrestling. It's like, come on, man. Like, no respect, right? Literally no respect. But like, no, like I look at a guy like Cien Almas and he just has everything you would want. He's got the youth. He's got the looks. He's got the charisma. The guy is phenomenal. Every time I see him in the ring, he is just phenomenal. And I tell you, he has not done wrong having Vega, Austin Aries' wife, by his side there. A lot of good. I mean, everything is just working in unison for this guy. He would one day be a great addition for the main roster. I'm not in a rush to see him go. I'm enjoying it for what it's worth right now with him as the NXT champion. But I'm really glad that it was not a situation that occurred where Gargano, and as much as I love him and everything, he definitely has that underdog Daniel Bryan vibe story kind of going on to him. I'm actually kind of glad that Almas is still the champion. Now, for those that might have been a little bit curious, well, damn, where does Gargano like go from here? Well, eventually we see Almas and Vega, they roll out. Pretty much gives the moment there to Candice and Gargano, and they soak in the cheers that they get from the crowd, and they make their way up to the stage ramp. Both of them take one look at the crowd. Gargano throwing that arm up, kind of waving at the crowd. Wham! From behind, he gets struck in the back by one Tommaso Ciampa with what was it? What did he hit him with? What did he hit him with? He hit him with not a cane, a crutch. He hit him with a crutch. We see that Ciampa still has a leg brace on and everything like that. But yeah, he just wailed the hell out of him with that bad boy. And we see Gargano just laid out. Candice LeRae looking on like, why? Why did you do that? So it's pretty obvious that we know now. Okay, so this is the next chapter as far as what's going to happen with Gargano. All right, so Gargano's going to be a little bit distracted right now. And who knows, maybe after he's done feuding with Tommaso, maybe then he'll kind of try to get back into the title picture again. But overall, fantastic night for NXT TakeOver. If this doesn't get you hyped up for the Royal Rumble, I don't know what will, quite honestly, guys. But this was definitely a great night. Let's see some of what you all are saying, right? And I agree with Shaba. Shaba said no one can sell like Johnny Wrestling can. Damn Skippy. I mean, he is like a crash test dummy, and like you just can have him go through the most craziest freaking things and like he is still intact. Like that's Johnny freaking Gargano, man. I also see women's championship match was good till the injury angle they went for, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Abraham is saying it was an awesome show. See some other comments we got coming in right now. Yeah, how about that Adam Cole back back chair spot, Draven. Yeah, that was like to see the two chairs set up the way that it was, and pretty much his like the center of his back like connects with like the top, you know, the top part of the chairs, of those folded chairs. You're going, damn, like, is your back really okay, dude? Because like you might be out for a little bit. The way that had freaking looked, man, that was a crazy spot. Super Collider, yes. AOP's finisher there, yeah. Super Collider, yeah. Let's see what else. Let me go peek my head over in Facebook real quick here, see if we got anything that's coming in. And okay, so we are caught up on Facebook. Let's see how we're doing now with regards to the polling, because I want to know what you guys had thought about NXT Takeover overall. So let me just get this bad boy, head on over there real quick. All right, we are there. Let's go to communities here. Remember, YouTube right now, you can go on over to the communities tab. We got a two-part question for you guys. The first part, I'm asking you all, how would you rate tonight's WWE NXT Takeover event? Right now via YouTube, we have 92% votes in that are giving it a thumbs up. 8% of you are giving it a thumbs down. Part two to that, we have the question asked, do you think EC3 will be successful this go round in the WWE now that he's returned? So far, there are 9% of you that are saying no. 26% of you feel that you can't say right now because it's still pretty early. Let's wait and see. And holding steady, 65% of the votes in, yes, you feel that EC3 will be successful this go round in the WWE now that he's returned. And let's follow up via Twitter on what you all had thought about tonight's NXT Takeover event as we get ready to pretty much wrap up the stream for tonight. But have no fear, I will be back with you guys live as soon as the Royal Rumble goes off the air. We're going to do a live after show. You'll be able to catch that stream here on YouTube, and you'll be able to catch it on Facebook and also on Spreaker for those of you that want to do the audio version. All right, let us see what's going on via Twitter here. And we are holding strong and steady right now. Appreciate all the votes. We got 175 votes counting right now via Twitter, asking you all how would you rate tonight's WWE NXT event. Right now, we have 6% of you that are giving the event a thumbs down. 8% of you are staying in the middle. And a overwhelming 86% of you are giving tonight's NXT Takeover event a thumbs up. So I want the discussion to continue. Let me know what you thought about NXT Takeover. And if you did not get a chance to check it out yet, I actually did a Royal Rumble preview predictions edition that's actually available on the Facebook page right now. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out yet, you can check it out. If you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You can actually check out the video for free. Just type up facebook.com/the RCWR Show. You got to make sure you put the THE in there. Facebook.com/the RCWR Show. You'll be able to see the Royal Rumble, call that match edition that way. But if you do have Facebook, make sure you hit on over there, give the page a like, stay connected, because we're definitely utilizing Facebook a lot more as far as streaming, posting, good stuff like that. And if you like what I do for you guys, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Comes out every single Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, after SmackDown goes off the air. You can also be my Patreon for exclusive content and more. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. All right, guys, I am shutting this bad boy down. YouTube, I am wishing you guys to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will see you guys during Royal Rumble. All right, get at me on Twitter. Make sure you interact with me.